tengo el honor de dar la bienvenida a las Naciones Unidas a su excelencia el señor Hugo Chávez Frías, presidente de la República Bolivariana de Venezuela, e invitarle a dirigirse a la Asamblea.
Mrs. President, Excellencies, Heads of State, Heads of Governments, and High Representatives of the governments of the world. Good day to all of you. First, with due respect, I want to invite those of you who have not been able to read this book to read it. Noam Chomsky, one of the most prestigious intellectuals of this America and of the world. Chomsky, one of his most recent works, Hegemony or Survival. Hegemony or Survival. The imperialist strategy of the United States. An excellent work to understand what has happened in the world in the 20th century, what is happening today, and the greatest threat that looms over our planet, that the hegemonistic pretension of American imperialism puts at risk the very survival of the human species. We continue our warnings regarding this danger and call on the people of the United States themselves and the world to halt this threat, which is like the sword of Damocles itself. I was thinking about reading a chapter, but in order to observe time, I will leave it as a recommendation. It's a quick read. It is very good, Mrs. President. I'm sure you know it. It is published in English, in German, in Russian, in Arabic. Surely, look, I believe that the first citizens that should read this book are the brothers and sisters of the United States, because the threat is in their own home. The devil is home, that is. The devil himself is at home. The devil came here yesterday. The devil was here yesterday. In this very place, it still smells of sulfur at this table where I have to talk. Yesterday, ladies, gentlemen, from this same rostrum, the President of the United States, whom I call the devil, came here talking as the owner of the world. As the owner of the world. A psychiatrist would be handy to analyze the speech of the President of the United States yesterday. As the spokesman of imperialism, he came to give his recipes to try and maintain the actual scheme of domination, of exploitation, and looting of the peoples of the world. This would be a good one for an Alfred Hitchcock movie. I would even propose a title, The Devil's Recipe. That is, American imperialism, and Chomsky says it here with a sharp and meridian clarity, is making desperate efforts to consolidate its hegemonic system of domination. We cannot allow that to happen. We cannot allow a world dictatorship to be established. Well, that is, that it be consolidated, that a world dictatorship be consolidated. The speech of the world tyrant president full of cynicism, full of hypocrisy. It is the imperial hypocrisy, the attempt to control everything. They want to impose on us the democratic model as they conceive it, the false democracy of the elites. Plus, it is a very original democratic model imposed with bombs, with bombings, and with invasions, and with cannon shots. Some democracy. We would have to revisit the thesis of Aristotle, right? And those of the first people to talk about democracy in Greece, to see what model of democracy that is, the one imposed with marines, with invasions, with aggressions, and with bombs. Yesterday, the President of the United States in this same room said, and I quote, "Wherever you look, you hear extremists that tell you that you can escape misery and recover your dignity through violence, terror, and martyrdom." Wherever he looks, he sees extremists. I'm sure that he sees you, brother, with that color, and he believes you're an extremist. With this color, Evo Morales, who came here yesterday, the dignified president of Bolivia, he's an extremist. Imperialists see extremists everywhere they look. No, it's not that we're extremists. What happens is that the world is awakening, and everywhere we, the people, are standing up. I have the impression, Mr. Imperialist Dictator, that you're going to live the rest of your days in a nightmare, because everywhere you look, we're going to arise. The ones that stand up against the American imperialism, the ones who cry out for the full liberty of the world, for the equality of the peoples, for the respect of the sovereignty of the nations. Yes, they call us extremists. We stand up against the empire. We stand up against the model of domination. Then the president came to talk. This is how he said, "Today I want to talk directly to the people of the Mideast. My country wants peace." This is true. If we walk the streets of the Bronx, if we walk the streets of New York, of Washington, of San Diego, of California, of any city, of San Antonio, of San Francisco, and we ask the people on the streets, the U.S. citizens, this country wants peace. The difference is that the government of this country, of the United States, doesn't want peace. They want to impose on us their model of exploitation and looting and its hegemony by means of wars. That is a little difference.